You're listening to the Caleb Gordon Podcast. Faith, family, business, and culture. Real conversations from a biblical worldview. Designed to help you live on purpose and lead with clarity.
Welcome to the Caleb Gordon Podcast. Representative John Kane. How in the world are you doing, my friend?
Caleb, I'm doing great. You're awfully kind to have me today. I'm excited to be here.
The last time you were here, we were just at the kitchen table, and now we've upgraded a little bit. We got some. You're in the light. You're in the limelight, brother.
This is. I do. I feel like I'm in some kind of New York studio or LA or something.
It's something. It's something. Office/studio. Excited that you're here with us again, just to talk about your campaign and things that are going on, and you're running.
Yeah.
State representative.
I'm running. Yep, state representative in Oklahoma in District 11.
So last time we had you on, we talked about sort of kind of the man behind the campaign, and I just thought I'd have you back on. We talk about how things are going. Your wife has informed me that we need to set some things straight on this podcast, first and foremost.
Yeah. I had a bad moment there. I don't know what I was thinking. The last thing I was expecting to talk about was, but family, personal stuff. I was talking about politics, right? And then you kind of got me, and I made some misstatements that sounded kind of bad the way they came out, but it made it sound like that I'd married the babysitter, and that there nothing could be further from the truth. And she has not missed a chance to make fun of me since that, and I deserve it.
I heard rumor. Did things go wild in the Capitol? They give you some flack in the Capitol for this too?
Oh yeah, because Barbara shared it with everybody she thought might be able to needle me a little bit, and it was all in good fun. But like I say, I deserved it. It's when Barbara and I met, our kids are spread out really just perfectly. I mean, we basically have five children between us, covering 11 years. Sure. So they just stair step perfectly.
There's a couple in there, yeah.
Yeah, and so of course her two are the youngest two, and my kids, like my middle daughter was their K-Life sponsor, of the class, and so she and my kids would babysit a little bit for her kids and all of that stuff, and that's kind of how we became acquainted. Our kids were kind of doing things together, awesome. And it just one thing led to another, and we were just friends and getting along, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
I love it. Okay, so what's been the most challenging? We'll start with the fun stuff first. Mm-hmm. What was what's been the most challenging part of the campaign so far?
The challenging part of the campaign, honestly, is just the minutiae, getting signs out, that kind of stuff that you don't typically do. None of us, don't particularly like that part. Just want to get the rest of it. I honestly feel like it's just doing the job. Sure. Being here, talking to you, going to meetings, taking calls. That's what I need to do to be a good representative anyway.
So help us understand, what does a representative do?
Okay.
Like what's their job title? I mean, you're a state representative, but what are you representing?
Okay. When I represent District 11, I really have two jobs constitutionally. First, I'm going to advocate for my district, meaning I'm going to listen to my constituents. I'm going to try to be a consistent conservative vote, because that's what I ran on and that's what I promised to be. So I need to deliver that to the people that voted for me. And then the next thing I absolutely have to do is I have to be down there, and we have to build a balanced budget every year. Those are the two things. Everything else, is, all the other bills, everything else we work on, you're trying to, again, advocate for your district and do what's best for the state. But other than that, that's really the job. And then we make it what we make it.
For sure. Trying to balance a budget. I mean, we always hear the jokes that the government doesn't do well at balancing budgets,
right.
Because if we did that in our own personal finances, we'd be in trouble. So
correct.
Has it been difficult to try to get the balance or get the budget balanced, or is that
it's difficult, but it's constitutional. So,
Sure.
That's the great thing. I mean, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oklahoma has that in the Constitution.
Come on, yes.
We are not allowed to spend more money than we have. We can't go out and borrow money. We've seen what's happened in states like California and Illinois and New York. They're nearly bankrupt. If it was a private business, they would be bankrupt.
That is just like common sense would tell you don't spend more than you bring in.
I know.
And you would think that should be just sort of a duh
Yep.
moment, but it is wild to watch states like California and all these, Virginia, and all these other places that are just wildly liberal,
It is.
just overspend.
Well, unfortunately, it's kind of part of the system. I mean, because honestly, the average person's not looking at the big picture.
Sure.
And if you can bring dollars in that helps them, they're going to ignore the rest of that. And it's our job to say no, because we don't have to look just at this year and next year. I'm looking for what's Oklahoma going to look like for my grandchildren. Those are the decisions you have to make.
Because I think so many politicians are short-sighted. They think about their own lifespan. I mean, although politicians are good at this. Oh, of course I want to leave a legacy for my grandkids. But you look at how they're spending and how they're acting and what they're doing, and that doesn't portray that you actually believe what you're saying you believe, right?
No, not. That's my view. And, people look at it differently. And, that's one thing I have learned in 4 years down there is that it's amazing how passionate people can be about what I consider just wrong ideas. But they believe it. And they're being sincere about that. And so that's why we're down there discussing and arguing for so long to get what either killing what I call really bad bills or working like crazy to get what I think are common sense bills across. It's just not easy.
And leaving now that I've got a grandson, I've got a mindset that I want to leave. Dad always used to say, "Leave a place better than you found it."
Absolutely.
Like that was my dad's sort of mantra in my life. He's like, he called me Reed, my middle name. He said, "Reed, always leave a place better than you found it. Don't leave it a mess." And I realized that wasn't just talking about the table. That was talking about people.
Right.
And I think that's I've known you for years, and that's the thing that I see in you is you want to leave a place better for people, and you want to help people have a better life, a better experience.
Yep.
And how do you plan to do that for this next 4 years?
Well, we've got some real good momentum in Oklahoma right now. I've been part of 4 years in the legislature where we've been able to really advance the ball. Our economy's growing. Sure. We're growing faster than the national average. I think it's the last 2 and maybe 3 years now. I think only 2, but the third report will come out, that we've actually had a net in migration from Texas. Now, all the time I was...
You hear that, Texas?
Yeah, there you go.
You hear that?
Yeah. And all my life growing up, people would go to school at our major universities or our regional universities, and then they would end up in Texas for a job. Well, we've reversed that trend. It's been a long time coming, and it's a lesson in that things don't happen overnight.
Sure.
We've been talking about diversifying the Oklahoma economy and having better jobs here to keep our people here, and it just took a long time, but we got there now. Aerospace is blowing up in Oklahoma,
awesome.
And those are good paying jobs. Our career techs are doing a great job of training people for the jobs that are out there, and we're starting to see those results. And now I, as a legislator, I get to really take advantage of this momentum that started before I got there, and gives us an opportunity to, once the momentum starts, it's easier to keep it going.
You bet. And I love that you're talking about VOTEX and career techs, because for so many years people pushed on this idea that you go to college. I mean, I'm one of those guys that got a college degree.
You bet.
And I'm not even really using my college degree that I had. I mean, parts of it I am, but those guys that are jumping in the career tech world, man, they're about to explode.
Yeah.
Electricians, plumbers, all these guys who have, that blue collar, I think they're the next millionaires, right?
Every organization faces threats, digital, strategic, human, but your team doesn't have to face it alone. At the 9 Minds Group, we blend elite cybersecurity expertise with practical business strategy to protect what matters most: your data, your people, and your reputation. We partner with you to assess risk, strengthen defenses, and build a secure foundation for growth. Because your smart security isn't just technology, it's peace of mind.
Working with Nine Minds, they bring high quality technical resources to bear. We're the team that you want to bring in if your technology is holding your business back instead of accelerating the growth that you want to see from your business.
You will get top-notch professional service from us. You will get personalized service from us.
We're going to work to understand your business. Reach out and schedule your consultation, and let's get started.
Visit the9minds.com. That's THENINEMINDS.com. The9minds.com. Hello, my friends. Wanted to come to you really quick and talk about one of our amazing sponsors, Revo Financial. Your money absolutely matters. Your future matters. Your family's future matters. Do you have a plan to take care of your family? Do you have a plan for your money? Well, I'm going to tell you, Revo Financial is the group you need to talk to. Revo Financial is a family-trusted, faith-driven financial advisor group that is passionate about building and managing wealth for clients who value investments that align with their principles and their core values. Give them a call at 918-336-7877. 918-336-7877 or go to revofinancial.com. Hey, my friends, if you're passing through Copan, Oklahoma, make sure and stop by Copan Restaurant and Truckstop. It's a place for great food, hot coffee, and friendly faces that make you feel right at home. Whether you're a local or a trucker on the road, it's a stop you can count on. Copan Restaurant and Truckstop. Give them a call, 918-532-4666. Copan Restaurant and Truckstop. Good food, good people in Copan, Oklahoma.
And and it's not your granddaddy's career tech either, because you can learn a lot of technical skills beyond what I was learning when I was there.
100%.
That again, for 21st century jobs and on, we're looking way past. So you're exactly right. It's a great option, and we're lucky. Career tech. Anybody you ever talk to, Oklahoma is probably the number one career tech establishment in the country.
Yeah,
and easily top 5.
Oh,
our career tech does a whale of a job.
It's good stuff. It's amazing. Okay, so I talked about the challenging side of the campaign. What's been probably one of the funner sides of the campaign?
Oh, the fun side is it just compresses my time frame so much, because it's a sprint. And what I don't know, a lot of people don't realize, I'm still in session in Oklahoma City.
So you're still not only you're campaigning, you're still working.
Still working.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I leave after church on Sunday afternoon and have to be back in Oklahoma City Monday morning through Thursday. We're working. We're on the floor. We're making votes. We're making committee meetings and all of that. And then I have to race home Thursday night. I can get home anywhere from dinner time till midnight, and then I campaign, and that's short. Then I have 3 days to be here. In addition, I do have a few things in my private sector life that I have to take care of.
Sure.
So it's just a very compressed time frame. But I like, for example, let's just talk door knocking.
Yes, sir.
Door knocking. I was thinking, do I have time to go do that door knocking? It's going to be this. It's going to be 3 or 4 hours. But once I load up and get there and start knocking doors, I'm having a great time.
You bet.
If someone answers the door and will talk to me, I mean, my biggest complaint for people tell me you just can't stay on the door talking as long as I talk, because but that's the fun part of the job to me.
Sure.
It's people, it's relationships, it's whether it's my constituents or whether it's the people I work with in Oklahoma City. That building those relationships is really fun.
Well, having connections with people is if you're gonna be a politician,
Yeah.
you've gotta enjoy being around people, because
Yeah.
I mean that's the biggest part of the
Yeah,
gig.
it'd be a hard job if you, and I'm not sure everybody down there does, but but I think it sure make the job hard. I mean, I like it when someone just walks in my office and says, "Hey, I want to talk about this bill or this policy idea. Could this be a bill?" And I love to talk about that, and especially if it's a organic constituent request, then it makes it even all the better. And that's my favorite thing to do.
Awesome. So you talked about leaving as soon as you get done with church, heading down there. how big is your faith when it comes to, or what role does your faith play in this job?
It's everything. You know, if you don't have a bedrock principles that you're going to stand on, boy, if you're just going to blow with the wind, and you got to have that. I don't know how someone can do the job effectively without those kind of principles, and I lean on it every day. And that's one thing. And with the encouragement from my wife, you know, I read scripture every morning, and that gets my day off right. If I get in a hurry and I go to an early breakfast meeting and all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I haven't done it, I feel a little off.
Yes, sir.
And so I stop. I wish I had more time, and I will again. As soon as we get out of session, I'll be back doing a little more. But you got, you know, we talk about compromise.
Yes,
This came up at a meeting, and I was very grateful for the question, because I said, you know, compromise isn't a bad word in politics until you get to your hardcore biblical principles.
Yes, sir.
And then, no, there cannot be a compromise.
Yeah.
There cannot be. There's a lot of room. We could compromise on a lot of things that I don't think are really going to be impacted by, you know, I don't think that the good Lord is looking down worrying, okay, are the bailiffs going to get a pay raise, or the court reporters going to get a pay raise?
Yeah.
Or how do we split that and make that work? Those are the compromises you have to be willing to make.
Yes, sir.
But not on the other.
Yeah,
No way.
On major moral issues and issues of life and issues that, I think those are, if you're not willing to stand your ground on those things, Scripture says that, you know, to be grounded in biblical principles, or you're going to be tossed to and fro, right, by every wind of doctrine. So.
And I don't know, we may have talked about this when I was here last time, but that was one of the really encouraging things to me, was how prevalent faith, Bible, prayer is in that capital every day.
So that's so good to hear.
I go to prayer breakfasts. I go to weekly prayer meetings. One with the governor, one with just other representatives.
Sure.
There's lunches. There'll be clergy will come in. They'll put lunches on and have. It's really available, and I think it keeps us all encouraged. And you know, it kind of makes your day go better when you kind of keep coming back to that. Okay, well, what are these principles that I'm going to stay firm with, and it keeps encouraging me.
That's such a good thing. It's obviously your wife has been an impactful part of your, and I will say it's a ministry, because this, I mean, there's, for a believer, there's no secular sacred divide. Everything's sacred, right?
I agree.
And so I would say that how important has your wife been in what you're doing?
Well, this is my chance to make up for my.
I notice I'm putting it at the end. So
quite frankly, and I mean, I'm very open about this. Barbara is, I couldn't do this job. Certainly couldn't do it as well, and I don't think I would be able to stick as long as I'm going to be able to stick around doing it. She's just so supportive. She's behind me. I mean, 100% every day. Every day. She never wavers. And I see people down there whose spouses, you know, either they have young kids at home, or for whatever reason they don't get that same level of support. Yep. And I really feel sorry for them, because I don't know how I could do it without her. I'm grateful. So grateful for her.
100%. Just doing this podcast is one of those things where my wife has encouraged me, and like the reason it looks better.
Yeah.
If it was before, it wouldn't be on video. B, we'd have some sort of little phone or device here, and we'd just be talking. But she's like, if you're going to do this, you're going to make it look good. Like, yes, ma'am.
Well, you know, Barbara, I mean, and she's genuinely interested in what we're doing. Right. She'll be at whatever she's doing, running around Oklahoma City. She's not at the Capitol all that often, but she listens to, when we're on the floor, she listens to it, the live stream. And
so she go down with you?
She's with me every time I go.
Come on, that's
every
awesome.
Sunday she drives with me. I mean,
God, that's awesome.
I'm too old to be a 4-day-a-week bachelor. I'm not doing that. And she's with me, and we both come home on Thursday.
Come on,
pretty much every week. And there, you know, obviously there's some rare exceptions, but pretty much every week. But yeah, she listens to us on the floor. Occasionally I'll get a text that said, "Why did that person say that? What are they?" I'm looking at my phone going, "Barbara,
I don't know. Hold on just a second."
You have to be a real wonk to want to listen to some of this. It gets pretty dry sometimes.
Yeah,
sure. But she is tuned in, and then we talk about it at night. She wants to quiz me on what people are doing, so it makes it fun.
But that she's interested in that is just a telltale sign that she's all in for you. as a spouse, and loves you.
Yeah.
And she's got a great sense of humor. Oh my word!
Yeah.
I mean, at times I've talked to her just in line at Walmart or Lowe's, or just see her out. She is hilarious.
She's pretty great, and she's real popular with the other spouses that are down there, and
That's good.
so it's turned out to be a blessing to us at the right time in our lives. Things, doors open at the right times,
Yes, sir.
and the right time it just hit, and I'm glad that with Barbara's encouragement, I stepped through it.
That's great to hear. Okay, so if somebody's interested in helping with the campaign, maybe knock on some doors, put some signs out. Where do they go? Who do they get in touch with?
Boy, now you're going to make me remember my website. I'm on Facebook.
Yep.
There's all sorts of availability there.
And we'll tag it in the
If
show
you
notes.
if you want to sign, you can leave me a message there. We will get that to you. If you want to help, I have found my preference is to try to knock as many doors as I can personally, because if they answer, I want to be the face they see.
Sure.
Now it gets oftentimes I'm knocking in the day and I'm getting 30% of the people will actually be there to open the door.
Yep.
And I'm just leaving stuff behind. But one good thing about the House versus the Senate versus even bigger offices is, I represent about 40,000 people. And the Senate represents about twice that. And their geography is much bigger, and they don't have the same ability to have the close relationship with constituents that you can in the House of Representatives. And we run every 2 years, which is another reason we stay closer to our constituents. Every 2 years, we're held accountable. We're asking for your vote. We're having to defend what we did in some cases. And so that makes us just that much closer to the people. And I think that's why I fit where I am. People ask me if I'd like to go and, go to the Senate or go do something else. And the answer really is no. I really think I was put in the right role.
I love that. So before you, just in our few minutes here remaining, before you jumped into the Senate, what were you, I'm sorry, to be a state representative, you said Senate, I get that in my brain.
That's all right.
What were you doing business-wise? What were
Yeah.
you involved with? And do you still have your hands involved in those things?
The only thing I still am very closely involved with is our ranch, that my son is my partner.
Okay.
And again, he's another person I couldn't do this without, because he's a very capable manager. He's been doing it with me, and I think in most ways he's better than I ever was anyway, so I need out of his way. So he runs the ranch. I'm also involved with the Lion Foundation. That's a job that I'm blessed to have, that is a part-time job, but just managing that board.
Oftentimes, part-time jobs can have a full-time.
Yeah, they sometimes do.
This has got a lot
They
going
sometimes do. So I've always been involved in that. But before I ran, I also had a small manufacturing company in the industrial park at Dewey called DIW Engineering and Fabrication.
on. I didn't know that.
Yep, that was me, and I sold that company, and that before I ever ran, because that took up a lot of my time.
Sure, I bet.
And then I was involved in a small bank up in Coffeyville, Kansas.
Red Ravens.
Yep, and we sold that bank. So both of those came off my plate
Sure.
about the time this opportunity presented itself. That's why I say doors open. It was just the right time. It just was amazing how everything just opened up for me to say, okay, now's the time to do this. And if I hadn't done it then, it never was going to happen. It was then, it was now or never. And man, I'm grateful I did
You
it.
jumped in both feet and just
Yeah.
went on. Man,
I'm grateful. It's an honor. It's really an honor to serve, and it's something I didn't know I'd enjoy it quite as much as I do.
Yeah,
It's
come
really
on.
good.
I love that. Well, that's exciting, and you, I've had you on the show twice, and so you've been a longtime friend of our families, and,
Yep.
and so I have enjoyed just watching you from a distance and being a part of that in just a small way. But I'm rooting for you and believing that God's going to continue to open the doors for you as you faithfully serve, brother. So thank you so much for taking time to be on the show and just share your heart, man.
Caleb, you're a great asset to your community. We're lucky to have you, and we're grateful to be on the show. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's always
you
fun.
You're not used to sitting in front of a microphone. It makes it something different.
It is. Well, it's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.